It is this model right here for two bikes that goes over the trailer jack, and I decided on this one because just to build the kayak rack in the back and to get the bikes in the front, I felt would be the best idea for us. That way if the kayaks fall off the back, then we still have our nice mountain bikes. So we'll take a little look at how this thing mounts up here and get it installed. So the bike rack that we've chosen is this jacket model. It mounts under the tongue jack of the trailer. So since I have the camper already leveled and set up here at the house, what I'm going to do is relieve the stabilizers a little bit and just put a regular floor jack under the tongue, jack it up a little bit so I can pull this off and we can get this mounted underneath it. So I've taken all the pressure off the stabilizers, and my floor jack was way down in my workshop, so I just used the bottle jack out of my Tacoma here to get the pressure off of the tongue here. I'm removing the bolts right now. We're going to pull the jack out, put the cradle, put the jack back down, and bolt her back together. I'll grab the cradle here. Everything seems to line up well there. We'll stick our jack back through. And when we bolt this back together, I'm going to use the supplied hardware with the kit. It's a little longer for the thickness of the cradle here. And I put a dab of anti-seize on the threads. I don't like bolting anything together that could rust, or if I ever have to take it apart, I don't want to fight it. So put a little dab of anti-seize on it. It'll make your life a lot easier. So we'll bolt this back together. I'm going to snug these bolts back down, and then I'm going to relieve the bottle jack there. Make sure the jack that you use is substantial enough. This is a small camper here, so the jack for my truck works just fine. The trailer tongue itself is threaded, so there's no nuts on the bottom. It just threads right in. I'm using a 14mm socket for these bolts. They're metric. Is to install this piece. Has a threaded insert in it. It's supplied hardware here. Again, I put a little dab of an anti-seize lubricant on the thread there, so when I go to take it apart, it won't be all rusted up. There's a lock washer and a flat washer here, and it also comes with a cotter pin that goes through the back. It says for safety. I guess if the bolt ever came loose. So we're gonna snug this up. This is another metric bolt, a 19mm socket. So next we're gonna install this cradle here that holds the wings with the supplied hardware. It's the same as the last piece we put in. 19mm socket fits this. It also has a cotter pin on the other side of it. So we'll snug this up. Install our cotter pin. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the pieces that slide on this cradle here. It has these hitch pins that hold them on. So they've got logos on everything. I'm a little more reserved than that. I don't really want the logos. I'm sure when they want you to slide it on, they want the logos to go to the front, and probably this one on this side, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make the logo go to the back. That way it's between the camper and not showing. I don't really want all that. But so they ask that, or one of the tips is the gear drive of each bike should be on the outside. So that means one will face one way and one will face the other way. So the bike that I'm going to put on the back will be my wife's bike, and these stabilizers here that slide on the 1-inch tubing, or 1.25-inch tubing, whatever this is, this will slide on, and this is just an extra thing, one of the sway components to keep the bike locked down. So we'll just slide that on there. We'll put this down into place, and we'll pin this. Now the wheels for the bikes will sit on these, and what you want to do is slide your rubber holder over this. And so this is for the back bike right here, and we're just taking a guess right now. We'll stick that through. We have our little cotter pin here, so we'll go ahead and outfit this side right here. And then we will do the same on the other. So we have both sides on. We're going to get the bikes out and mount them up and make some adjustments from there, but it seems to be a fairly good unit. All in all, very easily assembled, and looks like it's going to be good. So let's grab some bikes and we'll set them up. Here's the finished product of the dual bike carrier system for the tongue. Got my wife's bike there and my bike. I think the toughest thing to do with this is going to be keeping cranks and controls from slamming into each other, but we'll get that figured out. It seems like it's going to work pretty well.